All right. Welcome to Straight Snatch Podcast.
Radio sex voice.
It's been a night. We've been drinking since like fucking 5:30. Well, probably 4 p.m.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Let's be
And
real.
then, we decided we were going to do a podcast. So welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
Hi. So we're going to talk about exes. Not really sure what the dynamic of this conversation is going to be.
It's just going to go wherever it goes here.
No, I'm
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
real
I
real
agree.
thrilled because it's like none of my my current significant other isn't on here, so I can say whatever I want. But
Yeah, I can
Y'all
say
are
whatever I want.
married.
I could say whatever I want in front of Steph. She
we
does
are
not give a fuck.
we are an open book. Like,
Yeah.
that's because you are a saint. I need
right.
you in a male form, like with a penis.
You do.
I mean, yeah.
She's the best human on the face of the
I
planet.
know, I know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just
Why do you think I put a fucking ring on it? I was like, I'm never getting married again. I met Steph and I was like, married.
Married.
Fucking Insta.
All right, we're not talking about
So-
marriage tonight, though.
No, we're talking about
we need
exes.
to we need to go back and tell our stories from before.
I feel like though I have so many stories. So like I didn't come out till I was 27. So like
So start with you.
I know.
You wanna start?
Let's
You
hear
wanna
your
start?
story.
I feel like that's so harsh. Like, are we really going to talk shit about her?
I mean, I'll
Sorry.
talk shit about
I didn't
mine
say talk
all day
about
long.
talk shit
so
necessarily.
basically it
Are
came out at
all of our
20
exes going to be sitting here watching this?
No.
Okay.
Well,
My ex,
You know how my ex
he-
is.
You know what? If you do,
my
Have
ex
fun.
wants to wear my skin on his skin.
Yeah.
So it's actually
pushes the lotion on the skin.
yeah, it's
that's
actually probably
creepy.
very
What was that?
probable that
I don't
he
know.
is going
I don't know.
to see this and be like, oh my god, you're so
For sure.
neat."
He was so fucking. He had his tongue
Was
so
so?
far up your ass after the
Yeah.
fact that he was talking to his ex fucking girlfriend piece
the
of
whole
shit.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking douchebag.
Ooh.
Ugh.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Hey, douche. Hey, if you're
Well,
watching
you have a
this.
douche. I have a douche.
But
You got a
Oh my
douche,
God,
you
I got a
douche. We all
douche.
got douches.
everybody's got a douche. So let's start
So
talking.
here, we'll start because we didn't talk about this intro
Female negative term
for
that
douche.
equates to douche.
Fuckface.
Twat waffle.
Cunt.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
there's a
well, I
whole
feel like
lot.
it's got- yeah, I feel like douche is specific to a penis. So
Yeah.
like, you gotta have.
Well, it's actually specific to a vagina.
Well,
if you want to get
I feel
technical.
like, I agree with you. I feel like
Douchebag
more-
is like
yeah,
a-
douchebag is for guys.
But I don't think cunt is a derogatory term.
No.
It's more actually politically correct
Cunt.
Cunt.
that a
is?
cunt is. Yeah.
the word cunt.
It's actually not a bad. I've never viewed it as a bad word. in
All
my
right, so
opinion.
let's twat waffle is a good one.
Twat waffle, yes. Twat
Or
waffle's a good
fuckface
one.
is her nickname for her ex because she's a douche.
We can just start calling them truffle butters.
If everybody's out there listening,
Yeah.
look up the
Truffle
Urban
butter.
Dictionary for truffle
Don't-
butter.
do
It's
not, do
fucking
not,
disgusting.
Do not.
Yummy.
Well,
Listen,
we'll
I've
have
had
in the
truffle
future.
butter, I've had truffle butter
You've had?
mashed potatoes. I'm drunk. It's fine. I've had truffle butter mashed potatoes at a really high end restaurant. It's delicious.
Okay, here's
But
the thing.
it's not
Okay.
truffle butter.
If we're
Just
talking about sexual truffle butter, you cannot talk about like truffle butter.
Butter.
Casey did the same shit I did. Truffle butter.
I just want to point out that I was like, I don't think it's a great idea to do a podcast tonight. And Lance was like, let's do another shot. Let's do a podcast.
Shot podcast done.
Done.
Liquor and podcast.
Liquor. I don't even like her.
I am so sorry ahead of time, everybody, for this. Cause
Yeah.
Says the
Enjoy.
straight one.
Fuck that. Sorry. Enjoy.
All right, we gotta talk about douchebags or exes.
yeah. So, yeah,
So
let's-
who would like to
All right, I'll
start on this one?
So I'll start. So like I was
Lana's
married
got a
to-
good journey.
So I was married to. I'll give you my like life story check by check.
Unnerving.
It's horrifying.
It makes me uncomfortable that you are straight. Well,
Acting straight.
Right.
for those
Like
not
so we had
Emmy.
quote
She got an Emmy.
unquote
poor
straight.
fucking Dave and Rick.
Dave and Rick.
The other Dave. And I was like, yeah, I was really good at fellatio because I didn't like when men played with my vagina. He was like, okay.
Which is a conundrum in and of itself.
yeah. I was just really good with my mouth, which
What? Yeah.
turns out is a
touche.
good thing.
A good thing,
Gay,
yep.
But if you're gay, like, why did you want penis anywhere near you?
Because that wasn't a thing. Like being gay was not a thing when I was younger.
Yeah, being gay was a thing, but not
Okay,
as open as a thing as
No,
it is
right.
now.
So like my best friend, like my all-time fucking soulmate best friend Erica, right? She would cuddle up to me and I would fucking go like pin straight. Like I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, a woman's touching me. And I would like
then
lose
you were
my
like, yeah, I'm
shit.
straight. I'm gonna go have
Yeah.
sex with the man.
And then I would be like, hey, Rick. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not using Exes names. That's like my first boyfriend. He'll never fucking watch that. Not
that, Rick. No.
not Rick Russo. Not Rick Russo. Not Rick Russo. My high school
From
boyfriend.
the Trent Cliff.
Yeah.
The Trent Club.
The Trent
who is,
Club.
as always, letting us use their wonderful
thank
studio.
You. Thank you, Rick and Dave. We love you.
We are having a really hard time staying on track, guys.
Yeah, okay. Reeling it in. Come on. So
let's hear.
I played the straight game.
This wasn't a good idea.
Yeah. I played the straight game for like years and until I was 27 years old. And I was married to a man. And shut your face. And that poor man actually caught me in the shower with my girlfriend at the time. And he hit that door. He punched that door so hard he put a hole through it. It slammed into the side of the tub and slammed back shut and locked itself, believe it or not. So,
I mean, he was a little upset.
a little, yeah.
Just a little upset.
And like all the guys, the typical response is like, "Oh, when you jumped in the shower,
So awesome.
and
Oh
it's
my
like,
God, if
it's
my girl
like,
had another
no.
girl,
I'm
it's
sure
like,
he-
no, man,
no.
it's still cheating.
he wanted
But
to punch me in the face."
But she
let's
was
be
also
real.
like a bull dyke, so I don't.
She's so
not many
well,
guys.
my girlfriend at the time, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, does he really want to jump
mind
in with
you.
like some bull dyke?
Right.
And his
Mind you,
wife.
at the time, it was like 2 weeks into her and I fucking around. So it wasn't like we were like this big extended relationship. It was like she came up to tell me something. I was like, he was at the bar.
You're like, let me touch your vagina.
And I was like, do you want to get naked and get in or what? And she was like, yeah. And 2 minutes into it, it was like,
Was that your first time having sex with her that he caught you, or?
we had fooled around a little bit before that. Yeah.
But it wasn't like full blown. Like you didn't
no,
get off.
yeah, it
But
wasn't like,
Was
yeah.
that the first time you fooled around with a woman?
No. Well, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks was the amount of time that I'd messed around. But I don't even think we'd have gone down on each other by that point. So it was like just fucking around, touching each other in the shower and stuff.
Titty fucking?
What?
Titty fucking?
Titty fucking.
Titty? What?
I think that's a straight thing.
No, but what do you, if you're not going
Pearl
down on
necklaces
if
and
you're not
whatnot.
going
So it was
down
like
on each other,
feeling
what is-
up and like touching each
titty
other. Like,
fucking.
Groping.
yeah.
It's more like just groping. It's like middle
Groping
school
each other.
stuff, just touching
I
each other.
honestly don't fucking, it was really bad. I don't remember.
But she was your first, wasn't she?
Yeah.
First
so like,
girl.
yeah. And yeah, I just don't remember what was happening in the shower because then by the time that he had done that, we were like dead stop staring at each other. Because we were like,
Well,
that
that's
just fucking
good.
happened. And he was like, you two fucking assholes better be out of here by the time I get home. And I was like,
What time do you get home?
Well, this is awkward.
yeah, like, so
how
like
long
3
do we
hours
have?
in, or like 11, or when is that going to be?
I'm not there
Can we
yet,
finish
so
what
let
we
me-
were doing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta move
so
this
like-
timeline up.
So I literally sat against the vanity and I put my feet up on the door because I was like, what if he comes back? And I couldn't think of anything to say. And we were going to my best friend's 4th of July thing. And I was like, well, at least I don't have to invite him to that anymore. And that was literally like the first thing out of my face. So I'm like gathering my things and I'm like, pack of gum, pair of shorts, fucking nothing else. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, okay, I'll get your social security card and your passport. And like, but I was like so stunned. I couldn't like function at all. So she's packing up all of the things that I would actually need to leave the house. And I'm like, yeah, your shorts, gum. It's like my marriage is over. Like, I don't know.
Because literally only you were shocked about the fact that you were gay. Everyone else was like, yeah, she's gay.
Where I was like, I'm basically there. Yeah, right.
It's your child.
So you're fucking child. This is what you brought him.
Ignore anything that hits the doors
So,
or the
right.
windows.
So he leaves. We pack up the stuff. We go back to her mom's
She
house.
packs up everything.
She
not you.
packs everything. I'm fucking stunned. We go back to her mom's house, and he talks to me like a couple days later, and he was like, "Oh, you can come back, but I'll make your life hell." And I'm like, it was
Sign me
literally,
up.
I was
Be
playing
there
with
in 5.
penis.
You're
It was
like, I
already
was
there.
already-
I don't know.
I'm already
Like,
been-
wow, yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, so I was
Been
like,
there, done
I'm good. So him and I, but actually, I'll be real about this. Like several months later when we actually talked, he was like, listen, you were just trying to be happy. I get it. And like, he was a really good dude about it. But I give him credit because in the moment, he packed up all my shit in separate boxes and put a wet towel and everything. And then wrote a scarlet letter on every single box. And I was like, I mean, touche. What am I
Like an
doing
L?
here?
Did he put like a
Like
lesbian
no,
or
like an
D
A,
for
like
a
an
dyke?
adultery. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's aggressive.
Wow.
Well, he knew you liked it wet, so.
Yes.
But so
He's never experienced that.
Side note, sidebar. This did not happen to me. I wish, because it would be fucking hilarious. So my best friend's sister broke up with a guy, and they lived together. And she was moving out, and he worked second shift. So she was like, "Perfect. I'm gonna go move out my shit when he's not there."
Right.
So second shift, it's fucking dark out. He took every light bulb in the entire house out. The bathroom light bulb, the kitchen, took every light
That
bulb.
is genius.
In the entire house, every light bulb. So she
That's
had
a
to
lot
move.
of work.
She had to move in the
That's-
pitch black.
She had to move in the
That's a
pitch
lot of
black.
work.
And she had
That's
friends
fucking
helping her,
genius.
and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like, we not only do we have to fucking move you, we have to move you in." And they have like their phones and flashlights. He took
All the
every
light bulbs.
light bulb
You know,
in
okay.
the entire.
That's amazing.
Not just in one room, in the entire fucking house. He took out every light bulb.
I mean, I give him credit
And my
though.
friend
you know
was
what I
like,
mean?
"You're not gonna believe what happened." He
That's
took,
good
and
stuff, though.
I was crying, laughing, and she was still so mad about it. And I was like, "That's
You can't do anything but sit back and laugh.
No, that's
That
just
is-
comical.
That is
And the fact that
hilarious.
That's creative, is what that
And
is.
the fact of the matter is, it was his own home, so he wasn't destructive. He wasn't.
No, he just
holding
took the
on
light
to them
bulb.
till
He was
she
just like,
fucking moved
fuck
out.
her. It
I
took
wish
every
my ex would have
light
been
bulb.
creative with taking everything from me.
First
I'm
of
like,
all, your
how-
ex wasn't creative about anything. She's just a fucking.
Well, that's what drugs and
Yeah.
alcohol will do to you.
Yeah.
We'll get
I fucking hate that bitch.
Yeah, but I was
Cut a
like, I
bitch.
wish I could be
Cut a bitch. Cut a bitch.
that creative and that inventive to be
Right?
that petty. Every light bulb.
Dude, that's
you know how
legit.
long that would take? He was
Dude,
like, all right. And
can
he
we-
had to just unscrew every one and like, all right, fuck
Like
her.
that's time.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
that's time and effort.
Yeah, that's
her.
that's like
So-
That is fucking genius.
So apart from that,
Still fun. This was like 6 years ago. Still funny.
It's great. I love
so
it.
fun. It's really good. Although the one thing I did have to deal with was like the girlfriend that I got in the marriage. We'll say that. So in the divorce, I got a girlfriend, and
That's what you got out of your divorce?
Yeah,
I got a
which is
girlfriend.
good. I figured out I was gay as fuck.
That's good.
And so when I split up with her, because I had a really bad habit of like finding somebody else while with somebody else, and then that relationship ending.
It's like piggyback
It's a really
dating.
fucking bad idea. Yeah, it's a horrible. I felt so bad, like on the second. Well, I felt fucking
you?
terrible during my marriage and when that ended, and then I felt really bad during the second time. And she was laying on the floor, throwing pictures of us into the room and screaming and crying, and I was like, and my only
I mean, I'm not gonna
adaptable
lie.
way
The
to-
stories that you tell about her when you broke up with her, it's pathetic.
No,
it's so
I
pathetic.
like felt so bad because like I literally was like trying to do one of two things: was not fall asleep or not laugh my ass off. And I was like, my body would like
You're
shut
like, focus,
down. So it was
focus,
like
focus.
my body would literally shut down. So it would be like I can't handle this confrontation, so I'm gonna fall asleep. Like my literal, my body reaction is
Like,
like
since
either
I'm not allowed to laugh at you, all I can do is fall
I
asleep.
will laugh or fall asleep.
I'm
Like
gonna
I couldn't
snore.
fucking do it. I don't know what my problem was.
It's like when parents would yell at you and you couldn't help but laugh. And then they're like, don't laugh at me.
Oh my god! The other day, my niece was misbehaving and she hit her head on a window. And I was like,
You're like, don't be an asshole.
it's so hard to be. She hit her head so hard. She hit her head so hard.
Don't be an
Don't be an
asshole.
asshole.
I would just laugh.
It's like telling the kid not to touch the stove.
And I look at my sister.
Let
My
'em learn
sister's
the
right
hard
next to
way.
me, and I look at her and I was like, "Can I laugh?" And then she was laughing.
I wouldn't even ask. I would just bust up laughing.
Well, I
like,
was trying
don't
to, I
be
was
a
trying to
dick.
lock it
and then
up.
I'd say sorry, and I would pull like a drunk Liana and not be able to breathe.
So before we got here,
Wheezy
just
F. Leanna.
just as a FYI, I sobered up a little.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me tell
you
this
did.
story. Okay, so our entire drive from Euclid to here, which was about 40 minutes,
yeah.
I don't
You
think
guys
she
said it was
stopped
20.
laughing.
It was only 20 minutes.
It was
but
only 20 minutes.
They-
Way to stop like
It felt
several
like
times.
4. It felt like 3 hours, but Leanna would not stop laughing the entire time. Like there was a couple moments that I'm like, "Did you just die? Like, are you still breathing?"
She was wheezing real hard.
She
like no
was.
air was coming out. Like she was like,
All right, we got off track again.
Sorry, but
We got off track
this is
again.
the first time that Steph has seen me drunk like that.
so mind
In
blowing.
4 fucking
I know.
years.
4
welcome.
years. Yeah.
Because I feel like I meet all my
welcome.
guys drunk as fuck.
That's like how you start every relationship.
like I start every relationship.
Hey,
with
let me
this.
put your penis in my mouth. I'm hammered. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you
I
can't
got
put a
bad
penis
jaw
in your mouth.
joint,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah,
got
sorry.
arthritis.
All right,
That's
so we
not
gotta.
so
I
We
have
gotta.
arthritis in my jaw. I can't suck a dick.
Listen,
Be a really bad lesbian
you
too.
can't, you
Go-to.
can't have lactose. Like,
Dude.
don't come at me like that.
I'm not
Dude,
coming
so
at you.
could you fucking eat a pussy? Or are you incapable?
That would be
'cause of the
worse
PMJ?
than sucking
no, I
a
can
dick.
suck a dick. I can suck. I can
Listen,
suck a
she
dick.
can suck a dick, okay? No, the
I
bitch
can
can
suck
suck
a
a
dick.
dick.
It's
Listen.
just that I don't want to because it's
Oh.
like the pain. Like I can eat hard food, but like the pain that comes after it is not
I
worth
didn't
it.
know you were going.
Is there a lot
I
of
didn't know
pain
you were
after
going in the direction of food. I
know.
thought you were going to say you could eat vagina.
I've never
the lesbian in
I
me.
could
I've
eat
never
hard
eaten it.
food.
I've never eaten it.
So I
So,
don't
like-
particularly enjoy it.
I don't because it hurts.
So
Like, you gotta pick
if you
your
suck a
fucking
dick though,
battles.
does that hurt for like
Yeah,
days?
yeah. So like you gotta get me like real liquored up, real drunk. That I'm like, fuck it.
Fuck it, I'm
Feeling
good.
loose.
Whip your dick out. I'm good.
Which
Okay,
doesn't happen
again,
so
we
much
got
anymore.
off track.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm
who's
so
douche-
sorry, everybody. We
whose
have to keep
douchebag
reeling
story
it
is
in.
next?
Yeah, next douchebag story. Oh
Do
my
you
God,
have
yours
you
are
have
my
a good one,
favorite.
don't you?
I got a great.
All right,
I didn't even
Christina.
talk about my other ex. Who was a little. We won't
We'll
even go
come.
to that.
We'll come back
to that.
around.
that.
We'll
Yeah.
come
Go
back
back
around.
So I
It's my favorite.
which but that
R,
is it.
not D, not B. R.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I lived with the guy. First off, he was obsessed with his cat, so that should have been like
Sign number one.
sign number one. Like
Yeah.
red flag, red flag. Yeah. So we moved in like real quick, and then he just decided that he did not want to stop talking to his ex girlfriend
Oh yeah.
who cheated on him, and I was like, no, that makes sense.
That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
You want to cheat on me with her because she cheated on you, and you know
Yeah.
how that feels.
Good fucking call.
Yeah. So he would take his phone, not into the bathroom, into the actual shower.
Could you imagine? I'd be like, if you take that phone into the
Yeah.
fucking shower,
No,
I
I-
know you're cheating,
I
you
threatened
motherfucker.
bodily harm.
Yeah.
Because I was like, leave your fucking phone out. And he was like, no, I like to listen to podcasts.
Fuck off. I caught my
like-
ex so many times while
Tell
she
him to
was
listen
in
to
the
this
shower. fucking
podcast while
looking
he's
at-
in the shower.
Yeah. He can masturbate with his tears.
By the way, he still shows up at her front door and fucking begs for a second chance, bitch.
Still
A lot,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, so he just decided he didn't want to stop talking to his ex-girlfriend. And so I threw him out of the house. And
How could he give up this?
right?
Fuck.
By the way, you
single, by the
can't
way.
see the full length, but her fucking ass is banging, fucking body banging.
Yeah, no,
banging.
it's
We
to
got,
some.
we got some hot friends, like.
We do.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah, no,
sexy
he,
as little
um,
Cool.
Yeah.
Jason.
He just decided that his little ass fucking ex-girlfriend who was like 22 and like
I'll fight this bitch.
and an
Can we just start that?
alcoholic. Yeah, that's what he wanted. So I
She
threw
was
him
like
out.
12 and a half, right?
Yeah.
She was-
He was like, "Well, where am I supposed to go?" And I was like, "I don't know."
With
in,
your girlfriend.
Not
in,
my
your,
fucking
in your
problem.
girlfriend's mother's basement. Like I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Go live in your goddamn vehicle for all I care.
Right.
Not my
So
problem.
yeah, so
Right.
kicked him out. Hashtag not my problem. Kicked him out, and then his dad and stepmother showed up and was like, "Well, he can't come home with us." Like, could you imagine if you went to your parents and were like, "Yo, I gotta move home," and they were like,
No.
"No."
Never. My parents would
Again,
never say no.
Not my problem.
His parents did that to him. They're like, "No."
Hashtag not my problem.
No.
Wow.
So they like came into my house.
Man,
and
he
were like,
was a
well, she's got
Grade A douchebag if his
Right?
parents wouldn't even take him back.
Right? No, his stepmom was like, "Nah."
Nah, bruh.
And I can't even blame her. Like that's completely fair. And yeah, so he ended up living with me for like an extra month. That was just like completely unnecessary, and it was so awkward. And he owed me so much money because I paid for everything.
Dude, living with your ex is so
for
It's the
a
worst.
month.
It is the
for
worst.
a month.
Girl,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
the
more than a
worst.
month for me, so let's just put it on.
So uncomfortable. So didn't hear from him for like 10 months. Shows up on my fucking doorstep.
Like in the dark, right?
in the
Like a
dark.
FedEx
Yeah.
Like the
delivery.
sun is down, and I hear a on my door,
Creepy. as
and like I live alone, and I'm like,
Hello.
We need to get you a gun.
yeah, I'm like, I would probably end up shooting myself. So I like look out the window. There's nobody in my driveway. There's
Oh,
nobody like
creepy
up and down the
as hell.
street, and I was like, what the, like,
Is he hiding in
crawl-
your bushes
like
and creep in your window?
crawl and peek through the curtains, and it's him. So I flip on the lights, whip open the door, scare the fuck out of him, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Like, who does that, though?
That's creepy.
Because he's like, well, I've been texting you and you haven't been responding, and I'm like,
Take a fucking hit, bro.
There's a
Take
reason for that.
a
Idiot.
hit.
right. So
Yeah,
he starts
exactly.
crying, and he's like, well, I just
Pussy.
wanted you to let you know that I was wrong and you were right. I'm like, you don't need to tell me I was right. I know I was right. And yeah, just like
Right.
fucking carrying on, whining bullshit. And I was like, anything else? And he started talking again, and I slowly closed the door. I was making eye contact with him, and I was like, anything else? And slowly closed the door on his
No.
face. Like, he was talking. He was crying. He was talking, and I just like,
Still text your friends.
Too
he
late.
still texts my
Too
phone.
little, too late, bro.
Dude, he still texts her
So-
friends. I've seen it.
Yeah. So
Get a life.
when I
Dude.
kicked him out, we had like an internet contract. I'm like, yo, I don't feel like dealing with.
This is that. That was this.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't feel like
Why we
dealing
couldn't do our
with-
first fucking podcast meeting because this motherfucker.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with that. So finally, like, I'm like, fuck this. This is terrible internet. Call him to cancel it. So he's like, hi,
Why Abby
Christina.
thought you lived in the country.
I know it was just for the wow stuff, but it was really nice to talk to you.
Oh, okay.
Garbage.
No response. Hey, I hope the new internet has been working better for you.
Who says that?
Thought about a few things after we talked last week. If you were able to carve out a couple minutes for a quick phone call,
Carve out a couple minutes.
let me know. And I was like, nah, dog. Which I was dating somebody
Nah,
new.
dog.
I was dating somebody new, which
Is that all you said back? Nah,
No.
dog.
So I was dating somebody new. I hit him with more than a few times, like unsubscribe. No, thank you. And he kept responding.
Unsubscribe.
I literally the only
Capital
resi-
N-O.
unsubscribe.
No.
That's all I.
Wow.
So I was dating another guy at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm so happy. Which sidebar, he decided he didn't want to stop talking to random women on Facebook. Different discussion. So he was like, no problem, Christina. I understand. Didn't want to cause any trouble.
Garbage.
So then he called me.
He's full of it. He's just trying to get back in your
It
pants.
goes so much better. He called me. I saw you called. Please understand there's absolutely no future for you and I. Trust is completely gone, and there's nothing you can do to regain that. Absolutely nothing. You need to finally accept that, move forward, and leave me alone.
Is this you to him?
Yeah.
Okay,
He
good.
says, I'm sorry. I was in a motorcycle accident on Monday, and I'm mostly okay.
I'm mostly okay.
I'm laughing
Just an
'cause he's fine.
ego.
And I'm mostly okay. But it very easily could have been much worse. Since I've been thinking about a lot lately how quickly life can change forever, I've decided to make sure that I leave nothing unsaid to the people who matter to me. So I'll show you guys.
Good lord. You fucking wrote a
shit.
novel.
God.
Fucking novel. Didn't fucking respond. So then
Did
I
you
find
even
out-
read it?
I read it and I was
Like,
like,
meh.
fucking blow me, dude. Like he was talking about like you need to realize what's most important to you and blah blah blah. And
Well,
he's like,
it's
I
not
know I
you.
fucked up, and I'm like, I know that you fucked up. I told you the 6 times I caught you cheating, you fucked up, and you still did it. So then he views my LinkedIn profile, which I don't know if you know.
Yeah.
Why
you view it,
LinkedIn?
You can see it. You can see
If
who
you
viewed your
look at
profile.
someone's profile,
does that?
it will say like Leanna Selecki reviewed your profile. Like you can see that.
Yes.
So he reviews my profile.
What? That's like your professional profile. It's not like a
Right,
Facebook
like, are you
or
gonna
any
hire me to
Instagram.
give me back the fucking money that you owe me? Like, you fucking mooch, you fucking chotch. So I take a screenshot of it and I said, "Please stop! You're really making me uncomfortable." Because he's making me uncomfortable.
That's like stalker
Absolutely.
status.
yeah. He
It
goes,
is.
question mark. I really wasn't trying to do anything. Your thing came up in my odd connections thing and happened to click it.
He just
I
needed
happened
something to
to
jerk
click
off to. That's all.
Right. Which use memories at this point, dog. I specifically didn't add you because I didn't want to bother you. You made it very clear that you want nothing to do with me. And as hard as it is for me, I do respect that. I'm sorry I clicked on it, Christina.
Bye.
I didn't mean anything by it.
Bye.
Peace out, homie.
Dude, home dog is so fucking
He's
hung up on you.
pathetic.
That's like, how many years has it been since you guys dated?
So we have been broken up longer than we were together.
Like, have some respect for
Like,
yourself, bro.
We have been broken up for almost 2 years, and we were together like 6-8 months.
Wow.
Grow up,
He's so-
dude.
But I will give him
You
credit.
weren't even together a whole year?
No.
Okay,
That's ridiculous.
That's
Like,
sad.
that's stop.
And you got some
That-
good
he's-
pussy then.
You ain't wrong.
Oh,
Snapchat that pussy though.
So
we're
Get it.
No, but I will say, like, my most recent ex, who, like, I caught him Facebook messaging with random women. I was like, yo, nah. He was like, this is a red
that's
flag.
not okay.
First of all,
He said I was a red flag, that I wasn't okay with him
no.
talking to random women on Facebook, but I have not.
What the
I
fuck
think
is
this
that?
is
I think
connected to
Rick's
his phone.
connected to his phone.
So he
Hold
was
on,
like,
let me call Rick real quick. Hold on.
he was
hold on.
like, I can't.
No, let me call him. Hold on. Let me call
Here,
him.
call Rick.
Yeah.
I
Hold
think
on.
it's connected
It
to
is
his phone
connected to
now.
his phone. He's fucking text messaging.
Keep,
Snapchat me that pussy.
it is.
Yeah, it is.
Hello?
Hi. Hey, Rick. Hey.
Your
I think
phone.
your phone is connected to the podcast because we keep getting notifications, and every time you text, it's like ding, 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 ding,
Why'd
ding.
you wait this long to tell me?
We just noticed you're apparently you're not that fucking popular.
I'm sorry, I'm entertaining out here.
Yeah,
It's fine.
continue watching
It's
Abby's
fine.
Child. Thanks,
Sorry,
bye.
baby.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.
I mean, do we?
So wait,
So
can we?
Abby's got a really good
yeah,
story,
yeah,
too.
Abby
Yeah.
does have a really
Do we
good
have
story.
enough time for this?
Yeah.
I think-
What time is it? What's
I think this one's just going to be a little bit longer of a podcast, and I think everyone's okay with that.
yeah.
I'll try and keep it to a minimum.
Nah.
How
Tell
can
your
you
story,
keep
bro.
fuck
Dude,
boys to a
wait,
minimum?
can
though?
oh, this is I have so much
Or
fucking
fuck
in on
faces.
this.
There's
I have
so
a good
much.
one.
There's so much. We'll come back. Oh, this is
So-
like a whole fucking episode. Is
I
what
know.
this is.
Well, we'll
a 5
put it in a
episode,
nutshell.
yeah.
So super excited. What was it? Probably like 10 years ago.
Yeah, fucking 10 years ago.
We'll say 10 years ago.
Excuse me.
cute.
Sorry. I burped in Abby's face earlier today. Kept talking. but
good
yeah.
sentence.
And then Abby returned the favor by spitting in mine.
She was just trying to get you going.
You
like
know what?
that? Yeah.
She was like, "You like when I
There
get
you
you
go.
wet?"
Not spit, okay? You can shoot some. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
So-
Anyways,
Spit it. Never mind. Keep going.
So
Vaginas, okay? In the vagina, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
Says the girl who fucking burped again.
So my DB totally thought he was.
I
the
hate
coolest.
him so much.
I know. Looking back, I was like,
is that deadbeat?
Oh, he is a
Dude,
deadbeat
he is.
douchebag.
Deadbeat douchebag.
everything.
Give him a name. He's earned
we
it.
call him "Turns Out" because it was
Turns
like
out.
every
Turns
story
out.
he told, it was like, "Turns out that was fucking false."
So check this shit out. So I knew him.
That's a good
I knew
one.
him in elementary school, and he had moved away to Florida to live with his dad, and he came back to his parent or his to
That
his
should
mom's
have
house.
been your
I
first
know.
warning sign. Florida.
Right.
Ugh,
Yeah.
Florida. So he came back to his mom's house, and he reached out to me, and I thought he was very attractive. That's just me. And we started hanging out. We dated, and I had already graduated from college, and I didn't really have anything in Ohio holding me back. It wasn't anything.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Hey, you want to move to Florida?" And I was like, "Okay." So
Well, dude, he lured you too because
Yeah.
he was talking about how much fucking money he had.
Yeah.
He was full of shit.
that's a good point. I should probably bring that up. He was telling me about how much money he has, a house, how much this
Garbage. He
car-
had you pick out a house with him, like to build.
Yeah. It was just
Turns
nuts.
out,
Turns out I have no money.
Yeah, it turns out. So he had left, was in transition back to Florida, and he sent me $500. He also had his, and I'm putting up quotation marks, uncle. Call
the one
me.
who owned the fucking
I know.
country club or
There'll
whatever.
be a plot
Which,
twist here.
by the way, that is true. His uncle does own.
Yeah, but he has nothing to do with his uncle,
absolutely
right?
nothing
Yeah,
to do with
yeah,
his
yeah.
uncle. So he pretended to have his quotation mark uncle call me to lure me into moving to Florida. Saying,
This is how women get kidnapped.
"Do I swear to God, no, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. I'm just a nice person."
She was
It
so
just really
gullible.
bad.
She was. Well, no, she wasn't about being gullible. He brainwashed her. Like he did not let her out of her
No.
sight. He fucking.
Yeah.
It was like a serious situation.
So I got the $500. I packed up all my stuff, quit my job here, which I was serving, so not a
Yeah,
really
right.
big job. So I packed up all my stuff, took my dog. I literally drove at 2 p.m. on a day and got down there in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he lives with his grandparents.
Turns out.
Turns
Turns
out.
out he lives with his grandparents. And I was like, all right, this is kind of weird, but whatever. I went with the flow.
Because at that point, you drove fucking halfway across the fucking goddamn
Yeah.
country to
You
fucking
drove
live with this
32,000
asshole.
I mean, there was
miles.
just a lot of lies, and by the time I was down there, I was like, I should just stay down here, see if it'll work out. He kept
Right.
feeding me all these lies. I mean, I'm telling you,
It was a
lie-
brainwash situation
Yeah.
for sure. Like,
Lie
it's
after
fucking
lie.
crazy.
I ended up getting pregnant, and
That little rascal's outside.
which I'll be honest with you, greatest if anything great happened from everything, that was the kid. So, and
Even though he's a little spastic.
that's okay. That's
Yeah,
what keeps
yeah,
me
yeah.
on my toes. It
Because
Keeps
he's
me.
a little boy.
Yeah, he's a fucking
Like,
7-year-old
oh,
kid.
just-
Like, he's going to be a
He's
spaz.
7. Yeah,
So-
he's not normal. He's a 7-year-old boy.
Right.
Like,
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
and the
normal.
second thing that actually happened out of that whole thing was meeting my husband. So cool.
Yeah,
cool
because
upside
Adam
down.
lived down in Florida, right?
He did. He
Yeah.
was actually like my work husband, if you want to put it like that.
By the way, I fucking love Adam.
Love him.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Love
He's a
him.
great dude.
Yeah.
So anyways, so living with douchebag, whole bunch of lies. What made me leave Florida was I was pregnant 6 months after Bentley was born. Douchebag, like we were just something wasn't happening. It wasn't feeling right. I told him I was gonna leave. So I said, let's work out a deal. How much do you want to pay in child support? I won't take you to court. Let's just work this out as adults. He goes, I'll pay you $400 a month. I was like, all right, $400 a month. We're cool with that. So literally a couple of days before I was about to leave, he came home with $50,000 in cash.
He's fucking shady as fuck. We're
Shady.
just going to touch back on
Drug
that.
dealer.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it was,
I don't
but
know
it's
what it was.
shady. Yeah.
Shady.
Yeah.
He comes
Maybe he
home with-
made a porn.
Doubtful.
You think you would get
No.
paid $50,000?
No.
Not
no.
for just one, but
Dudes
multiple
never make
porns.
that much money. It's women who make that much money.
Trust me, that bitch didn't get $50,000 from a porno. Okay? But he came
May
home.
made a kid. Definitely
I know.
didn't mean a porno.
He came
That's
home with.
because women don't have to orgasm to get pregnant. Only
That's
men
right.
do.
Right.
That's true.
But it helps if women are aroused. They don't have to have an orgasm, but arousal.
Donor dash.
Yes.
We'll come back to that.
Donor dashing.
So I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, this will be your child support. I'm like, okay. So
Great, bye.
I know. Bye. Well, he took that money and literally like 30 minutes after that, my cell phone, like wouldn't make a phone call. I wouldn't accept anything. I couldn't make a phone call. So I was like, this is fucking weird. So I literally took my kid and my dog and I kind of went to the local hotel, did what I had to do, called my mom and said, hey, I'm moving home. Called my brother. I called everybody. I was like, I'm leaving him. This is what's happening. Next day, I took my check that I received from work, cashed it, grabbed a U-Haul, packed up all my shit,
I remember that.
got the fuck out of there. And I made it to my brother's house, who I had not spoken to in 3 years because he did not like douchebag. He did not want to have anything to do with him.
That was right before you moved to Florida. As you went to his house to like escape the situation,
Yeah.
right? That was the same brother.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
brother.
This is a crazy situation, guys. We'll touch
Yeah,
on
there's
this
more
another time.
detail
Yeah.
on this.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
this is a long
Yeah,
story.
but this
Yeah.
is like the Cliff Notes version.
Exactly. So long story short, I went to my brother's house, and then from there went from upper north, Florida, all the way up to Ohio. Came back, and I had my kid, and
And here she is on our fucking
I know.
podcast.
Yes,
But
bitch.
you know what's kind of cool though is as I was traveling, I actually called Adam, who's my husband, and I told him I left him, and he was extremely surprised. He goes, "I never thought you'd leave him." He goes, "Why didn't you call me? I would have helped you move."
I fucking love Adam.
He's
That
so
guy
fucking sweet.
He
Is amazing. Like I'm
So how did he go from Florida to Ohio then? Like how are
His
you guys
parents
married?
lived across the
Are you
street
talking
from
about
where
douchebag
her
or Adam?
Your husband?
Oh,
Okay,
sorry,
so
my
this-
bad.
Because he was living in Florida, right?
Another douchebag story, but worked out in my benefit. So his girlfriend that he moved down with from Florida cheated on him with our general manager at the restaurant that we worked at and got knocked up.
Oh,
Yep,
damn.
yep, that'll do her.
And
That'll
Adam,
do her.
Adam basically said, hey, if you leave him and never talk to him again, I'll help you out with the kid. And she said no.
Wow.
She said no. And he decided to say, hey, fuck it. I ain't got nothing to do here in Florida, and moved back to Maine.
Hell
and
yeah.
we continued to be friends through basically, he left October of 2012, and I left March of 2013 from
I
Florida.
love it. I love it.
So douchebag still owes me a lot in child support.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, you'll never get it. so
Hold
don't
your
even
breath.
think about it.
Make sure
Yep.
to hold your breath.
Yeah, right.
Hold your breath on
The
that
only way
one.
I'm going to get money. Never mind. Anyways.
As if he's dead. That fucking piece of shit. God, I hate it.
If
That's
he's
okay.
even got any money when he dies.
Well, long story short, he's got 4 kids by 3 different women.
Yeah.
That happened
Stella.
Were
that
you
happened
one?
to Leanna.
I have
What?
1. He had
But you
one-
were you
when
the first?
you're-
No, I was the second.
Oh,
So-
so
Yeah.
that's another red flag that you were like, oh, he already has a kid.
Right,
She
but the-
didn't know that.
I-
She didn't fucking know that.
I didn't know he
There's
even had
so
him.
much to
No,
the story.
there's
like
so
a
much to the
giant
story.
wormhole.
We need 4 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
in a couple hours.
Jesus, take the wheel.
But
Girls, another
but
thing.
when Leanna's sperm donor died, she randomly got a check.
Oh, dude.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. Like maybe when
So
he
when
dies,
I was a
it's
kid,
you're-
right?
if
When I
you're
was
actual-
a child, yeah, he's my biological sperm donor, aka my fucking. I refuse to say biological father because he's fucking not.
He's just a
He's a
sperm donor.
garbage fucking human. He murdered his wife. We'll get into that. That's another fucking story.
That's another story. Yeah.
He murdered his wife and then he killed himself in prison because he's such a pussy. So I got money.
Well, he was
Thanks,
gonna
dude.
I'm
kill
glad my
him- he was
tax
gonna
dollars
kill-
didn't go towards keeping him
He
alive.
killed
No
him. He
shit.
killed himself because he didn't do it.
Right.
Right,
Because it was a friendly,
But he's
oops, I ran
innocent.
into her with a knife 18 fucking times.
Jesus.
Oh, I'll tell you this. Yeah, it's a whole
That's
nother
another
story for
story.
another
He was
day.
gonna get
day.
fucked up in prison anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Someone
Maybe
would have fucked him
someone's
He's
up.
a little bitch. He was like in his
He
fucking
would've been-
50s.
Bang,
I was like
Whatever.
20.
gang banged.
Ooh.
Date rape.
I was like
Don't drop the soap.
24. I
That
was
shit on
20.
the
No, I
street.
was like 23 when I got the check, or 22 when I got the check. So he would have been
Was
like,
it like a check
47.
from the state, or was it like
Yeah,
a
it was
life
back child support.
Could you
Now-
imagine how much money I'd get?
Dude, not
guys
that
don't
much.
even know.
That dude owned me 5 years of child support. I got $2,400. So hold your breath on that one.
That's like 2 months worth.
yeah.
Yeah, so she paid rent for a month and a half.
Yeah, I was like, cool,
You know what I'm
thanks
saying?
for
You know how
that.
much
Thanks
I
for the
would-
wedding gift, motherfucker.
You know how much money he owes me right now?
A lot.
He owes me a salary.
Yeah.
A fucking salary.
Yeah.
A good salary.
You're just
Yeah.
better off
Hold
just
your
cutting those
breath.
He's
losses.
a piece of shit. You'll never see that until he dies. Fingers crossed.
even
Here's the
then-
thing. You can actually take a life insurance policy out on him if you have his personal information. And
I
then
do.
If you pay up on it, when like you'll actually get paid out on it.
Oh, yeah,
I should do
You
that.
should do that.
Fuck yeah, dude. I got
I'm just
all
saying.
his info. I memorized
Yeah.
all
Be
that.
genius. Do
Yeah.
that.
Idiot.
No, like I used to work for a boss, and he had a life insurance policy on his first ex-wife, and I always thought it was the weirdest fucking thing. He was like, "Well, I pay for it," and I'm like, "So you're just like, oh, fingers crossed."
So when
dies
she dies
before me."
naturally, somebody's going to come looking for him.
Yeah,
Dude, but if I put
he
that thing
was
on him-
divorced from her for like 25 years and still
My-
had a life insurance.
My mom did
Joe,
that. My
that's
mom
crazy.
did that on my dad. In case
Hey,
anything should happen to us.
Is
between-
Bentley allowed to swear?
He does.
I would
Why
tell,
did he
I would
just swear
probably
out there?
say no.
Mhm.
Goddamn children.
Tell him not
Don't
to
have
swear in
him.
front of those kids. Go out there and tell him not to swear in front of the other kids.
Okay.
Go be a mom
He's
for
Go
right
be a
there.
mom.
He's literally right there. I can see his little face.
Punch him.
Are you kidding me? Don't use those words ever.
This is why I'm not a mom.
This is
I
why I'm
feel
never
like-
gonna be.
Are you kidding me?
And he's like, what? Like he doesn't know what he did.
He's like, I don't know.
I was there.
No. He's not allowed to swear in front of other children.
Bentley, you're not even an adult.
Lock it up, Bentley.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. At your age. Oh wait, you're 7.
So he
Don't
kind of
fucking
is.
swear.
So don't
Wait
curse.
till you get to our age and then fucking swear. Dude, Abby's ass looks so good right now, though.
It does though.
Yeah,
I'm loving this
bitch.
view. Lock that door. Yeah.
Lock it up and lock that door and fucking set that beautiful ass back down.
He's mad.
Good,
I
you
love
should
that I
be.
can say this shit in front of my wife. Can we talk about it?
Oh yeah, I'm all about it.
Oh, because she doesn't have 2
'Cause-
eyeballs.
Because we both appreciate Abby's and your
Because
ass, too,
we'll
actually.
constantly like I'll point out nice butts and nice
Yeah.
titties all the time. Like
I don't give a shit. She's still eating my pussy like a champ at the end of the
fuck
night.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
Ass and titties.
Ass and titties. Ass and titties. Anyways.
Ass and titties.
My
too.
faves.
Ass.
2 favorite things in the whole wide world.
So, anyways, thank you for showing that. Because Rick's like, is he allowed to swear? Like, he literally texts me. He's like, is he allowed to swear? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, totally chill because 7-year-olds.
It's
Totally
he's
allowed to
7.
swear.
He's
So
an
I
old
feel
I
like
can.
that-
I'm allowed to have one of those.
Yeah, that's me.
All the boys are downstairs. All the little girls have gone upstairs. Rick is like, is he
Scared
allowed to
them all
swear?
away.
Like, be a grown up, bro.
You can take
Adult.
care of it. You can take
Fucking adult, dude.
Be adult. Yeah. Anyways, so let's get to your trash bag ex because I love.
Which one?
Ooh.
I have one ex that I actually like.
That the one that says there's a hype about me? Oh, no, that's the one you like. I love Chelsea.
Chelsea's a sweetheart.
Chelsea
Chelsea,
is a
if you're
sweetheart.
watching this,
I love Chelsea.
you're the only
Love you,
ex that
Chelsea.
I actually like.
Wait,
No, I
can
still
we?
like I still like the one ex where like she dropped off your social security card. Crazy
After
bitch.
we got married.
Crazy
Okay, all right.
bitch fucking Facebook messages her and was like, "Thanks for dropping it off," but she has a new last name, mine.
Thanks,
I was like,
bitch.
so petty. And
So
she
yes.
responded back, "Oh,
I
I'm
hate-
glad I believe the or something about
I'm
the
glad
hype."
you live up to the hype. Bitch, what hype? That my fucking wife's a fucking goddess and I treat her like so?
Leanna
Bitch.
came into my office. She
Try
was like,
me.
"What fucking hype?" I was like, "Maybe this."
Maybe the hype that she eats pussy like a champ.
I literally text her back and that bitch was such a pussy. She fucking
blocked
blocked
you.
me.
Yeah, before you could even respond. She probably saw you typing.
You
Yeah, she like block.
Dude,
block.
that bitch is scary though. I would fucking run. I would run
She-
circles from her.
She is a bull dyke.
She is a
in
bull dyke.
all senses of
They
the
didn't have
word.
sex for the last 4 years of their relationship.
What do you do?
Are you serious?
Did you have
I-
thumb wars?
Hardcore masturbated.
Are you kidding
I'm
me?
not kidding.
Yeah,
you.
no.
How do
Okay,
you
because
figure
sex with
that
her was
shit
on
awful.
her
out?
vagina.
She, excuse me, what- she bit your
I'm
shit.
sorry.
Wait, what?
She was just so aggressive
She was
that
aggressive.
like
You don't do that.
it felt like biting
abrasive?
because she would just push, and I would literally have to like push her head away from me. I'm like, get off of it.
Yeah.
Just get off of it.
We've had this conversation that she took advantage of Steph when she was like super young. Like
Okay,
the bitch
who's
was
gonna
like,
tell the story?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You or me?
I'm sorry.
Y'all can tell my story.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop talking. Speaking of which,
So, anyways,
okay, I love you.
so my ex, just before I met Leanna, yeah, we were together for 6 years, and I can count how many times we had sex on like one hand, basically, because that's how much I just.
And how
I think
long
you
were
and
with
I
her?
have had sex more times than you and your
I'm
ex.
pretty sure, yes,
Yeah,
me and you have
probably.
had more sex than me and her.
We had to count
This
it.
many times. I think I grabbed your ass a few times. Does that
Yeah,
count?
no, that count it.
Okay, count. I'm gonna put that notch in my headboard.
I think you grabbed my tits before. You've seen not areolas, but you've seen at least most of my boobs.
At one point, I will see them all. I
yeah.
mean,
You guys is always gonna be naked, so
Yeah.
close enough.
Which,
I
like,
mean, I'm
Anyways,
all,
so
I'm all for
anyways,
it. Steph and I are- yeah, okay.
pipe down. Lock it up.
pipe down.
But anyway, so yeah, so when I met her, like I was in a very vulnerable state because I had just left a relationship that I was with a girl for 2 years, and bad idea to meet a girl when she's like half naked and twirling around tassels in your face because you can get mesmerized real fucking quick.
Abby,
So
I forgot she was a stripper.
yes, not the last girlfriend. The girlfriend before her was it was a burlesque dancer, stripper, all the above. Yeah. But anyway, so and I was never.
She was a stripper.
So, anyways, with her, I was never good enough. So I was like,
Fuck
for
that
2
bitch.
years, I was kind of like beaten down mentally. So
Yep,
I felt like worthless pretty much at that point. Like,
Oh, God.
so then, will you guys quit it?
I'm sorry.
God, I let y'all tell your stories.
I haven't said anything. You don't look at me when you say that.
Turn you all the way down.
Keep
Anyways.
going. Don't do it. Don't turn it back. Don't bitch out. Leave her off. Don't bitch out. Stand up. Vagina up. You turn your wife's mic off. Leave it the fuck off. Keep going, Steph.
Anyways, so I start partying with a bunch of like a whole group of lesbians that were a lot of fucking fun. Like a couple of them I still talk to. But all these girls were big heavy drinkers and I was just your tiny little stoner. Like I didn't drink. I just wanted to smoke pot and like just chill out and get to know people. Because I feel like when you're getting shit faced, you can't really get to know anybody. So they're all getting like sloshed, like blackout drunk every night. And here's me just sitting in the corner, like, cool. I'll just like smoke a doobie with myself. Cool. And then Fuckface came along, and she was a stoner too. So like, it was almost kind of like an instant connection at first. Because I'm like, okay, cool, you're a stoner, I'm a stoner. We're like talking about music and we're getting high and not getting blackout drunk. Yeah, like we're just having a beer while we're smoking a blunt. And she was also the biggest girl out of the whole party. So here's me thinking, okay, cool, rebound this fat one out of the whole bunch. She wasn't really, she let herself go after a while after we started dating. She was smaller when I first met her. But I'm thinking like, okay, So if you don't have like a banging body, you'd think that you would kind of make up for it in other
Great
ways. Like,
personality.
right. No, you're not even. I thought she could eat fucking pussy like a champ. I thought she had good sexual skills, right? Because if you don't have a banging body, you got to make up for it somewhere.
I was
You
thinking
should.
personality. You were
Right.
thinking like.
I was thinking sex. Well, I was thinking rebound,
Yeah,
right?
sure,
In my
sure,
head,
sure.
I'm thinking
You're
like,
right, you're right.
I want to get my fucking rocks off. So, sex is awful. And I wasn't
Plot
sure if
twist.
it was plot twist, yes. But in my head, I'm like, well, maybe I was just because I was shit faced. She was shit faced, like whatever. So it happens again. It's still terrible, and we like start talking, but all of her friends keep calling me her girlfriend. I'm like, I'm not her girlfriend. They keep calling me her girlfriend to the point where it just got so obnoxious that I was just stopped correcting everybody. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So that's how we started dating. And a few months in, I had to break up with her. Like, I literally had to break up with her. I was like, I was never actually officially really dating you. We never asked each other if we wanted to date. Right? So,
No, it's just so unnerving because you're like, yeah, so sex was terrible, and then sex was still terrible, and then sex was still terrible, and then I had to break up with her.
yeah. And then I had to break up with her. But then I was in a really bad financial situation because everybody I was living with didn't pay me any money. And I fought her to not let her move in because I'm like, no, it's not happening. So she moves out to
It's okay.
she moves out to go to like college at 33. Go to college.
AKA follow her college friends.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. But so I actually at one point became like financially dependent on her because she started, but here's the thing is she would like pay my rent and stuff like that. Like that's the stuff that she would do, and I felt obligated to stick around because she was helping me out so much. She was feeding me, she would pay my rent, she'd smoke me
sugar mama
down.
in you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I got so wrapped up in that, like I got so dependent on her. Like I didn't have a car because where I lived before, I could walk to and from work. I could walk to and from like the grocery store and stuff. Like I didn't need a vehicle where I was, so I really didn't work hard to get one. Not to mention I was making minimum wage, like a whole whopping $8 an hour. So
Not to mention this bitch has the audacity to say the hype about me. This bitch was a fucking abuser, but we'll just leave it at that.
yeah, so I tried to get a car a couple times while we were together. Didn't fucking work because she said we didn't have the money. And what am I missing?
I was just gonna say, got your credit score over 700 and got you a car, but whatever.
Oh yeah, like I couldn't pay down my bills. Like nothing could get paid down. I was giving her like all of my money because she said that I needed to owe her. Like I always owed her something. Like I always had to owe her money, and I always felt obligated to get. Well, in my head, I was thinking like, okay, well I owe this, right? So like, there's no fucking way. Like I know what our cell phone bill is now for 3 lines, and she was working for AT&T, so she got 50% off of her bill. 50% off of her bill, right? So we each had a phone. We each had a tablet. So we had like the $160 family plan for 4 lines for half off of that.
Yeah, 50%.
I was paying her $90 a month. Bitch, I was just paying the whole fucking bill. And like it's things like this that like I didn't even realize what was going on until I like started talking to Leanna. Like I didn't realize how much abuse was really going on until I actually started opening up.
Fuck a bitch up.
I still had you turned down. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's probably better that way. It's fucking. I hate that bitch.
And everybody has fallen into that, like gay, straight, whatever it is. Everybody has fallen into that fucking abuse.
But she could have at least been
you're not
better
gonna-
looking or better in bed, like something that I was getting nothing out of it.
Eat a pussy, but that wasn't even.
That wasn't even the case. No, I had to get
in all
myself
my
off.
abusive relationships. At least I was getting dick down.
Right,
Yeah,
at least you got
dude.
something good out of it.
Yeah,
Like you
but
got something.
Like
out of
I was
it.
usually financially supporting
That bitch still has my dog and everything. Like
Wait, so
I
this.
don't wanna talk
oh
about
yeah,
that.
so when
because that
we
makes me aggressive.
So what finally broke it off? Because so for years I was unhappy and I was trying to figure out a way to like basically get out of this relationship that I wasn't happy in. I was just making it so to everybody else I looked happy because I can fake it. So like we'd be out and I'd be faking happy for a long time, like years. So nobody even realized that this was coming. So I finally, like, one night, like, she'd get blackout drunk every night and, like, stay up till, like, early hours, like, playing video games and smoking weed and cigarettes, like, chain smoking.
Was this my
This
ex?
This is where all my money went.
I'm sorry. I'd rather hold my wife and fucking.
Was that my ex?
No. I would sleep
Maybe
with my
I'll hook
dog
'em
on
up.
my recliner all the time. But yeah, so I wake up one morning. I couldn't find my phone. Like, I fell asleep on my recliner like I always did. Like, that was my bed, basically, sleeping with my dog. And I woke up and I couldn't find my phone. So I grabbed her phone. And when I opened it up to go call myself, there was messages from her ex still up.
Who
that
looks
they
like
were
a
talking.
small Chinese boy, by the way. Sorry.
That's not politically
But
correct.
the messed up thing is
Chong.
that she has the same name as me. So here's me going through my mind like, okay, you're thinking of her. You're not thinking about me, right?
Fuck her.
Right. So this was my out. So like I had my out. Even though I could have left for just not being happy, right? I could have left just simply because I wasn't happy,
Not
but I
an
didn't
abusive
want to.
situation.
It's
This
hard.
bitch terrorized
No,
her
it's-
for like a fucking year after.
Oh yeah.
She
No.
still has her fucking dog.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
still
still
has
has
her
my
dog.
dog.
I had to get her off of the phone plan because this bitch wouldn't release her fucking
Yeah.
phone number.
Dude, it's hard when you're in an abusive relationship.
hard.
Yeah,
She took all my
like,
stuff
Abby
too.
fucking knows. Yeah,
We put all of our stuff when we moved out because luckily when this whole thing went down, it was at the end of our 1 year lease for the house that we were renting. So I was like, perfect. Let's move everything into a storage unit until we figure something out.
Yeah.
Well, that bitch took everything out of the fucking storage unit and left me with like my bed and my dresser and
Fuck it.
a couple things. Like
Well,
she left me with nothing.
Nothing.
My douchebag, we had a joint account and he cashed out our entire joint account and so we had a checking, a savings, and then we had an account for our son. Well, I wouldn't say our son, but my kid.
right.
And there's like $250 fucking dollars in there, and he tried to cash that out too, and they were like, no on that one. But the other ones, they said it was fine because it was a joint account. Fuck you, dude. That's why I took my last paycheck, and it was only $1,000, like, which doesn't seem like a lot, but as
But it got you up here.
as a server, it got me, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
out of the
got you
state
up
of
here.
Florida. I have my kid, I have my dog, and right now I can say I have a great job. I got a house.
Yeah, you do.
I've
Great
got a
fucking
brand new car, I
husband.
got a husband. I
Yeah.
got it. I got
got a
it good.
banging body.
Well, that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I say it all the time.
Thanks.
Like you had to
Thanks.
go
You're
through
welcome.
the awful
I'll stroke
to
it.
get you where you are today.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like you guys
absolutely.
would not be together if you did not go through what you
Correct.
went through and you went through
Mhm.
it.
Absolutely.
You and your husband would not be together if you did not go through.
Right.
I'm still single as fuck, so we're gonna figure it out.
Oh
I got
yeah,
you. We got
You've
you.
gone
Like,
through
we
your
got-
horrible
y'all
stuff.
make sense. I'm waiting on
We
my
got you.
path.
Because sometimes
You'll get it.
sometimes things happen for a reason, though.
Yeah.
Like I went
You'll
to
get it.
Florida for what, right? And I have my
Yeah.
kid, and now I have
Dude,
Adam.
I'll never
I'm
forget the
just-
conversation I fucking called you. And I was like, Abby, what the fuck is going on? And I remember you were just like, it was like, because you were just so in it
Yeah.
in the moment that you don't have the ability to like rationalize the
Nope,
situation.
you don't.
And you and I didn't talk for a couple of years. And
We
then
did
when
not.
you came back, it was like,
Nothing ever happened.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, something happened, but you.
But
and
whatever.
that's what's
I didn't
nice
care.
though. Like coming back home, it was so nerve wracking because I didn't know how people would accept me when I came back home.
Mhm.
Fuck 'em.
No, but all honesty, like
Well, you find out who your real friends and family are when
Exactly.
you go through
Right.
something like
I-
that.
it totally exactly. So when I told Leanna, "Hey, I'm home," she was like, "Cool. When you want to meet up?" Like,
Yeah.
When you guys wanna hang out?
I love you.
I know,
Hi, welcome
I know
home.
we're home. Like, what do you want to hang out? I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just walk up to your house because we're like 2 steps away from each other.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so you find out who your real friends are
Mhm.
truly, and
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy going through something like
Mhm.
that. Though.
It really is.
Yeah.
but I think going through that makes you so much of a better person.
Mm-hmm.
My ex made all of our mutual friends choose.
Ugh.
She forced
That's
them
So
to
she
choose.
ended
Those are
up
good
with
friends.
no
Those
friends.
are good friends.
No, she got
No,
them
she
all.
did.
She
They
got
were
them
so
all.
blinded. Like I
Well, they
remember.
didn't. Well, here's the thing: is that I made myself seem so happy that they didn't even understand. I was the bad guy,
Mhm.
and she
Yeah.
probably told them all I was cheating on her, which
Yeah.
I didn't fuck that girl till after we split.
Well, first of all, so when everything happened,
sexual relations
I did not.
with that woman.
so literally, I went to a party with her because she was like, yeah, we both broke up with our exes. Like, let's hang out and fucking have. Yeah, your kid's being fucking crazy. He just ran that way.
He's at the door.
So
Leave him out there.
her and I went to a party with her only because I knew everybody else. She wanted to fucking hang out 10-14. Who's not gonna
We're getting close to an hour here, so.
Oh shit.
No, it's okay. Everybody warned everybody this was gonna be a long one.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, finish what you were saying.
So she was literally like, all I can see is your reflection in his face. Crazy ass fucking
Oh my
kid.
God.
So
He's not allowed back here.
No.
Wrap it up.
So real quick, so her ex was like, "Yeah, just let me lose 50 pounds and we'll date." And I was like, "Bitch, please, I'll never date you. Your fucking hairline's receding." So she fucking straight up thought that I was gonna actually do something with her. So I had no idea that they were ever dating or ever were together.
No, I love
And
that
I
part of it too. That she was like, "You're not gonna date Steph, are
No,
you?"
I sent her a picture. And I was like, "Oh my God, tell me everything about this cutie that you could possibly tell me." And she was like, "What the fuck? That's my ex." And I was like,
Well, here's another part is that she had a Steph and I album on Facebook,
yeah.
and it was private. Nobody could see it, only me.
I had been friends with a bitch on
Years.
Facebook for 6 years. I had no idea they were together.
She
How
had
fucked
no
up is that?
idea that we were even a thing.
So I was obsessed with Steph. I was like, "Oh my God, she's so hot." So I sent this picture, and this bitch is like, "She's a fucking piece of shit, blah, blah, blah." She's talking all this shit. I sent it to
helped me
Steph, and I
out.
was like, "Hey,
Thanks,
so
fuck
dude,
face, you helped me get her.
yeah, thanks for hooking us up,
Thank
bitch."
you.
And so I was like, "Hey, Steph, like, really sorry, accidentally sent this picture to your ex." And she's like, "Hey, yeah, like things didn't work out, but I wish we could be friends, but we're not." And I was like, So Steph is the cordial, sweet individual who's not talking any
And
shit
12
about
years
this
younger.
fat fucking bitch. And this bitch is like, she's a fucking piece of shit. Now, mind you, if they say your first year of marriage is the hardest, this has been the fucking easiest relationship I've
I
ever had in
fucking
my
blinked
fucking
and
life.
a year went by, and I'm like,
It
Right.
did.
like
And
we're
I'm
like a year's coming up.
I love you so much.
I wasn't in this marriage, but you're like, "Happy 1 year," and I was at your guys' wedding. I was like, "Holy fuck!" it's been
Wait, how did
Right?
I not even see you at the wedding?
We had
I was the one getting down
Yeah.
with the get down.
we had to.
Girl,
We
me and
literally
you were both getting down. I was by myself.
I
Husband.
was by myself.
He wa-
Husband
we were
was
in-
sick. He was
Yeah,
like,
he was
basically, I think I
sick.
had a heart attack.
I
at that
probably-
point.
I feel
probably
bad.
was.
He probably was. He was like, "I don't feel good." I'm like, "Well, I RSVP'd, and that's stupid if you don't go." So
I RSVP'd, so
I'm
somebody's
going.
gotta go.
So
Yeah.
I had
Thank
to
you
make
for
sure I
coming.
drank his and mine.
Yeah, totes. You got to make sure you make up
And
the
you
whole
ate,
thing. Yeah.
You ate for both of you, right?
Yeah.
Too?
Oh, the water chestnuts.
The only thing,
Oh,
the
gross.
only hey, do you want to know what? The only thing I ate all night was donuts.
I had one fucking
it was-
donut
and
and
some
one half a
Twizzlers.
drink.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was
Anyways, okay.
drinking.
Yeah, drank. We were all at the wedding. Yeah, okay, it's time.
But
It's
yeah,
time,
so
time,
we
time,
have to
time.
wrap it up. I'm so sorry that this was a really long episode. It's so sorry, but this was a good one. This was a good episode. And you know what?
This was a good one.
Yeah.
Next episode we'll lighten it up with something
Stuff.
else.
We're gonna talk about sex toys.
Yes, sex
Sex
toys.
toys.
Oh, and we should not only sex toys, but we should also do some Urban Dictionary things. Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. It's a slippery
And we
slope.
should do
Slippery
food.
slope.
Truffle butter.
Is it food or sex position?
Yes.
More to
Ooh,
come.
Actually, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
really good one.
Done
Food
that
or
one.
sex position is what we're gonna play, along with bringing in some sex toys because we've
Yeah.
got an arsenal.
I think
that
we
can
should
bring
bring
in
our
for
own
everybody.
sex toy.
Totes. Wash them before you bring them, but yeah, we'll make it work.
Like one.
That's okay. Bring it.
You only have one?
I
You
only
have
have
the Tokyo
I
Rose?
have
Is it
one.
just a vibrator?
I have
Yeah,
one.
I don't use them.
Yeah.
No,
That's
mine's a
really
combo.
Your hands get it done, all right?
It's a
Yo,
combo.
mine's
You don't
a
masturbate?
combo.
You don't masturbate?
I don't masturbate. I
Why?
think it's the weirdest thing. I don't masturbate.
You don't masturbate?
I don't masturbate.
I'm married and I still masturbate.
Yeah, no, I tried.
I love when you wish you send me
I tried
pictures.
myself and toys, the
You
whole
don't
nine yards.
masturbate?
I don't like it.
Why?
Go, can we talk? Oh, we're talking about masturbation next
Yeah.
time.
And don't get me wrong, it's not
You
the
don't
same
like
as
it?
her mouth
I don't
down
like
there,
it.
but damn, I still get myself
I
off
don't
and I
like
love
it.
it.
It'll like feel okay, but I'm like,
Girl,
I
you're
don't-
single.
yeah.
You should
You
be
just
like
don't fucking
every
masturbate.
night.
Oh my God! If you guys don't,
My
we need-
vagina would go raw if I was single.
I need a
virgin
guy
again.
that's
I'm a
gonna
virgin
fuck
again.
you so good.
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt.
need to-
right now.
okay.
My pelvis.
My brother. I'm got what?
Your brother.
Thunder
Well,
nuts.
you know what? We'll interview your brother and we'll interview. Okay. Anyways, we're wrapping
All
it
right,
up.
we're wrapping it up.
Bye.
Bye.